everybody, so I'm coming to you with a new foundation, well not new, but a new to me foundation demo, and all I'm wearing right now is my Embryolisse moisturizer. So I have been looking for a while a foundation that photographs very well for when I'm going out in the evenings. I have been using Face Atelier 0 Plus, that's the closest color match for me, but I have noticed that in photos I tend to look very oily even though I have dry skin. I was at a birthday party some time ago and I remember the photos that were taken at that party. I looked very shiny, although when I checked the ladies' room and went into the mirror, I wasn't shiny in person. So I don't know why Face Atelier tends to, on me at least, photograph very shiny. And that particular day I hadn't powdered, which I don't usually powder because I have dry skin and I'm just averse to powdering. But I did use it again this week and I noticed that I was very shiny again after a couple of hours of wear. So I'm still looking for something that I can wear that photographs very well and that's good for evening. So I'm going to be trying out the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. So this is what it looks like. I have a sample, I don't have the bottle. The sample color that I have is color number 10. They do have 24 shades. And some of the colors, it's been around since like the 90s, 98 I want to say, and some of the colors have been discontinued, but I'm going to go ahead and try color number 10 because that's the closest match to me. 11.5 is the next color after that, and it was very red, kind of orangey red, much too orangey red for my complexion. So I am going to try it here. I got my sample from Sephora. There it is in a little sample cup there. And I don't think all Sephoras carry it, and I noticed that it wasn't on the Sephora website. So when I am ready to order it, I'll have to go downtown to my Brooklyn Sephora, and I also think the Times Square, New York Sephora carries it as well. So I'm just going to put this on with my fingers. And this is a fairly pricey foundation. It is $62 for 1 ounce. And I'm told that it has light to medium coverage, so we're going to test that out right now. I have a couple spots that I like to try to cover on my nose, but I really don't have that much that I need to cover. It doesn't really have a strong smell, at least not to me. It's slightly perfumey, but it's not anything that's bothersome to me, at least. And I'm just using my hands for this because I've noticed lately when I clean my brushes that there's a lot of foundation that is caught up in my brushes, which in my mind means that the $62 foundation would be sucked up by the brush. I can already see that this is a very radiant finish just from this one application, so I'm not going to add any more. And it seems to have covered very well based on what I'm seeing. And the color match is actually not bad at all either. I was kind of expecting it to be a little too light because I've always presumed that 11 was my color, the color that's discontinued. And I never really looked too closely at this foundation, but it is really beautiful. I'm going to of course add some photos before and after so you can see what it looks like with just the one layer. And again, this is color number 10, the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. And I'm going to add some mascara. This is Too Faced Better Than Sex, which it's not, but it's a nice mascara. I have pretty long lashes, but I still like to use a bit of mascara just because I feel like when I put foundation on it kind of makes me look like I need a little something. And I'm going to add some lip gloss. This is an old lip gloss that I've had for a while. It's called Glossimer by Chanel. It's number 39 Force. And it has been discontinued, so if you can find it online or on eBay or something like that, it is a great color. I'm not quite sure why they discontinued it. But again, I've had it for a very long time. I think this is one of the first pricey lip glosses that I ever purchased when I was out shopping with a friend. some years ago. She was very into makeup and I really wasn't, but I thought this was a good color back then. So I'm just going to buff this foundation in a little bit with my Bdellium Tools number 953 brush. It's actually a very small duo fiber brush, but my other brushes, which I mentioned I had cleaned, they are still damp, so I can't really use one of my larger brushes to blend this out. Just want to make sure that I don't have any harsh lines, and make sure that I get it in my hairline, because I don't want, when I take photos, I don't want to see any random shadows or anything around my hairline where there's no foundation. I'm not going to add, and it was white, but I'm not going to add any concealer because I just want to see how this is going to last throughout the day. I have some errands to run, not a whole lot of things, but a few hours worth of errands to run. And I will come back and let you know how this Giorgio Armani Luminous silk holds up. See you soon. So this is just a quick look of the Armani Luminous silk color number 10 freshly applied. There's a lot of overcast today. It looks like it's about to pour down rain. But I just wanted you to get a look at what it looks like out in the daylight. So I've had on this Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation, color number 10, for about 4 hours. I do like the way it looks outside in the daylight. However, I have noticed that inside, in fluorescent light and just interior lighting in general, it does look kind of greasy. Very similar to how the Face Atelier looks kind of greasy on me. And I'll add a photo so you can see what the Face Atelier looked like on me after a few hours and what I mean by the greasy look. And I'll also take some photos of this as well inside so you can see what I mean. But as of right now, in comparison, they seem very similar to me as far as the effect inside. Outside, I do think this one, Giorgio Armani, is better, and the color match is a little better for me than the 0 Plus in Face Atelier. So I will be back after a couple more hours. Hey, so I'm back, and I have had on the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation all day. It's about 10 p.m. and I was actually just about to take this off and wash my face when I said I need to come back and do this final recap of the day of wearing it. As you can see, there's a lot of transfer. Maybe you can't see it, but there's a lot of transfer on my shirt because I'd taken it off and I just put it back on to film this video for the end of the day. So I think I used too much foundation. I don't have the pump, so I'm not quite sure if this was 1 pump, 2, 3, or however many, but I do find that I look a bit oily in flash photography. In person it looks great, and I'll add photos so you can see what it looks like without a flash. So, and it's nighttime, so I can't really take the pictures outside, but I did take them in this bathroom, which is daylight lighting, or at least that's what the bulbs say. So it looks great in person, but it does look a bit too shiny, oily with a flash photo. So I don't know. I'm going to try it again tomorrow and use a little bit less and see what it looks like then. Because some of the other reviews that I've read about this foundation say that the more you use, if you try to build it up, you tend to be more luminous, and to me that looks a little oily, which I don't prefer. But I do like the way it looks in person. It really reminds me a lot of the Face Atelier 0 Plus that I've been using. That's actually a color adjuster, but it's the closest color that's a match for me. I will say the Giorgio Armani does match better as far as the color. I'll actually add some photos of what the colors look like 0 Plus and Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk side by side so you can see what I mean. The 0 Plus is a bit more orange, and I find that the Giorgio Armani is a bit more yellow, which suits me very well. So I do like that it's a good color match. The Face Atelier 0 Plus is a lot thicker to me. It's silicone based, which Giorgio Armani has silicone in it as well. But I find that the Giorgio Armani is more of a gel-like texture, and it spreads very easily with the fingers, while I don't find that to be the same with the Face Atelier. So I do think I'm going to try this again tomorrow, so I'll probably add to this video using a little bit less of the product, and I'll see if it looks as shiny to me at the end of the day after several hours of wear as it does right now. So I'll add the photos so you can see, and I will be back. Thanks. Hey, so I am back, and I have decided that I am not going to use the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk for a second day. I really felt like it was very greasy on me by the end of the day. I did not powder it until the end of the night, and when I did powder it, I used my Nye Topaz powder. just to see if I could take the shine off of my face. I'm told, and based on the research that I did on the foundation, that you don't have to set it and that it looks really great luminous. It's not something that needs to be set, but I found that it had a lot of transfer, so that was a problem for me. So I decided today that I'm going to use my Face Atelier so I can compare, and I'm still using the sample. I've been using this Face Atelier, the color is 0 Plus. I've been using it I guess for almost 10 months now, since Thanksgiving of last year, and it's September now. So I've been still looking for something comparable, because I really hate that I have to order online. I hate that there are no counters. I understand that it's financial. If they had counters, if they had retail stores, it would be much more expensive. And the full bottle of this, the 1 ounce bottle of the Face Atelier Ultra Foundation is $48 full price. The Pro bottles are $34, which I think they're about 0.68 ounces. And they're plastic, while the full-size bottle is glass. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and use this Face Atelier 0 Plus. I'm just going to go ahead and dip my finger in there. It's much thicker than the Giorgio Armani, and that Giorgio Armani is like kind of a gel consistency, while this is a bit thicker consistency. I'm going to go ahead and work it in with my fingers, although I normally don't do this, just because I want it to be a fair comparison with the Giorgio Armani. And I'll add a picture so you can see what the color differences are when they're side by side, if I haven't already added that. So you can see that the colors are slightly different. I think the Armani is a little bit more yellow based, the number 10 shade, while the 0 Plus is a little more orange. And I did feel like the Armani was a good match for me, but now that I'm looking at it again and looking at the photos, I'm not quite sure if that's true. And on my face, the only thing I have on is my Embryolisse moisturizer, and I'm not using a primer, because you do not need to use a primer with this 0 Plus or with this Face Atelier foundation. And you can actually, if you don't find the right color, they have a very extensive range from literally white all the way to a very deep ebony shade. If you don't find your exact match, you can use the color adjusters, which I'll add a photo here so you can see. One of them is called Heat. It's like an orangey color, and then you have the 0 Plus, which is my color, and the 0 Plus Plus, which is a very deep brown color. And as you see, I did not use any concealer. You don't really need to use concealer with this foundation, because it's thick enough that you don't need to add any additional concealer. The foundation itself covers very well. And I will go ahead and blend this out with a brush, like I did with the Giorgio Armani, just to make sure I don't have any harsh lines or anything, because that is never a good thing. And I'll keep this on without powdering and see if it looks the same or similar, like I think it already does, to the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk, which again is $65 or $62 an ounce, while this full-size bottle for 1 ounce is $48. So to keep it fair, I'm going to use again the Chanel Force number 39 Glossimer. Again, this color's been discontinued, so you probably won't be able to find it unless you try eBay or something like that. I really like this color. And I'm going to go ahead and add some mascara. Again, same mascara that I use for the Giorgio Armani, the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. Just a little bit, because I always feel like I need mascara when I put on foundation. I feel like my eyelashes get drowned out. I don't know if that's true or not, it's just what I feel like. So I'll add some photos as well, so you can see what it looks like freshly applied, and I'll also take them photos outside, and I'll add a little bit of video too, so you can see what it looks like. Alright, I'll be back. So this is the Face Atelier Ultra. The color is 0 Plus, and I just wanted to take a quick video of what it looks like freshly applied outside in the sunlight, well, daylight, because it's still overcast just like it was yesterday when I tried the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk in color number 10. So that is what it looks like, and I'll add some photos. So I am back, and it's been actually a long time. It is kind of late, 11:39 in the evening, and I've been wearing the Face Atelier Zero Plus foundation all day. I decided not to try the Armani Luminous Silk for a second day because I really did feel like it left me very oily, much more oily than the Face Atelier leaves me at the end of a night. So this is what it looks like. I'll add some photos so you can see what it looks like with and without flash. It definitely still does have an oily look to it, but not as much as the Giorgio Armani. So I'm going to go ahead and add some powder here and add the photos of that as well. And you can see what it looks like lightly powdered. I actually have lots of powders here. I have the Ben Nye Beige Suede, the banana powder, which I think everybody has. I have the Sienna, and the one I'm probably going to use is Topaz. And I also have Ebony, which I always say I'm going to contour with, but I only tried it like one time. So I do like the Giorgio Armani as far as the gel consistency of it, and it's a much lighter texture. I do find that it's a light to medium coverage. I got medium coverage with just using my fingers, but you can of course shear it out using different tools, beauty blender, brushes, what have you. I can also do the same with the Face Atelier Zero Plus. It's definitely a thicker consistency, silicone based, kind of not quite creamy, but definitely a lot thicker than the gel formulation of the Armani. And I can of course shear that out, the Face Atelier shear that out as well, and make it a lighter coverage and also build it up to full. So I really cannot stand the fact that I have to order online and pay for shipping, but I'm probably going to stick with the Face Atelier. So I will be adding some photos here at the end so you can see what it looks like after it's been powdered. But yeah, I definitely am not interested in the Giorgio Armani. Face Atelier gives me the same kind of luminous look, and it's significantly cheaper at $48 an ounce for the retail bottle, and the Pro bottle is $34 for about 0.68 ounces. So I will add the powder, and feel free to ask any questions. Thanks.